Hey guys, Dennis here, the founder of Think Hero.
I'm David Griffin, your resident comic book and video game guru.
And this is our 2013 end of the year top 5 television shows.
Yes.
And we're not really going to order them in it. We're not going 1 through 5 or anything like that. We're just saying what our top 5 are. There's some that we both have on our list, and then there's others that only one of us has on their list.
I think doing TV this year, and I think will be next year even, it's harder than doing movies.
Just because there's so many good
There's so many good TV. There's TV series, we're not even really going to mention all the mini-series. I mean, there's too much TV out right now. So much TV out right now.
All right, well, let's start off with this one. This is one of your top 5 picks, Sleepy Hollow.
One of my top 5 picks, one of the best new shows, I think, of the fall 2013. It's a show that at first I thought was going to be a cop procedural disguised as, let's say, like CW show Supernatural, a huge cult following with that. It is that, but it's so fun, and they have so much mythology that they build on each week. Each week is an exciting new episode, and there's always something new to learn, and I love Fox's decision. This did get renewed for a second season. They thought about maybe bumping it up to 22 episodes, but they said, you know what, we're going to make this season 13 episodes. We're going to do next season, season 2, 13 episodes as well.
I prefer it that way.
I love it that way, so it keeps the story tight. I mean, there's always something happening. Tom Misson, I'm going to say his name wrong. Misson is like, he's like probably one of the breakthrough performers of this year. As you keep progressing through the series, you'll see like he's such a good actor. He steals every scene he's in. It's just so well done. I think it's fun. Great cast too.
Cool. I've only seen the pilot. I enjoyed it, but I haven't watched it enough to say, okay, this is one of my favorite shows on TV.
The show's kind of bonkers a little bit. It's not straightforward. Like you and I've talked about Almost Human, almost being too safe. This show doesn't play it safe. This show actually sometimes does some weird things. I'm like, really? They're getting away with that? Like, they do some weird stuff, and that's why I like it so much about it.
All right. So next one is Justified. This is in my top 5, not in David's. Is it in your top 10?
It'd be in my top 10. Yeah, Justified's always going to be in my top 10, yeah.
Justified. This season wasn't as strong as season 3 or season 2, which was my favorite.
Right.
However, it's still great. Great dialogue, great characters.
Yes.
The only issue I had with this season was that it wasn't quite as focused as previous seasons.
Yeah.
They had a big story in season 4, but it kind of meandered sometimes. There was like they would take an episode off and do something that would never come back around again.
Right.
Like for example, actually there's a couple episodes where the girl bounty hunter gets killed and he has to go chase down the guy, and they kind of never really wound that really back. Also, the main story wasn't as interesting as...
This is mystery about who fell from the sky.
Yes.
I'm just like, who really... And we even found out, I'm like,
So even though I say those things, it's still one of the best shows on television, well written.
Yeah.
The dialogue. Timothy Oliphant.
He's great.
As Raylan.
That's
is
his
great.
role. Yeah.
Walton Goggins as Boyd.
Yeah.
One of the best villains on television today.
He's great.
So... yeah, I still highly recommend it, and maybe season 5 will get back on track.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, and the next one is one of your picks,
Arrow.
Arrow.
Yeah. CW's Arrow has been really a surprise. CW, has some hits or misses. You got a little 90210 in there, got a little whatever, but I mean, this show, it hit the mark. I'm a Vampire Diaries fan. Originals, I think, has overtaken that right now as a better show. And then Arrow came out last year, and it surprised me. I was like, okay, we'll see. I never got into Smallville. I just couldn't do it. I heard the first couple seasons are good.
I enjoyed the first 3-4 seasons of Smallville.
Right, and then this came out, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. It's small. They keep it small. It knows what kind of show it is. I mean, it's basically, he's Batman, he's Bruce Wayne. I mean, he has a really deep, raspy voice, but it's still good. The thing is, because DC's cinematic universe is a complete mess, they can do whatever they want. I mean, in the new season...
Well, they got Flash in there,
right?
They
have Flash coming out. They had the mid-season finale had Flash. We got...
They talk about Ra's al
Ghul. We got Black Canary. We got Deathstroke, played by Manu Bennett from Spartacus. I mean, they just go bonkers with this show because they can. There's no movie universe holding them back. So... this is definitely a show I would suggest watching. It's on Netflix right now. You can stream the first season. Catch up to season 2.
Yeah, I've only seen an episode and a half of it. I liked it so far. I just need to watch more to see if I can get into it or not.
Definitely one of my favorites.
All right, and the next one, this is in my top 5, House of Cards. Is this anywhere in your top 10?
I would put it... Ooh. Yeah, I put top 10.
Top 10?
Because of the performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put in the top 10. I think when this came out, there was a lot of hype about how Netflix was going to like revolutionize things. And the show, for me, I thought the formula was pretty episodic. It's pretty basic, you know, for the show. Not episodic, I mean, there was an overall story, but it was just kind of a basic format. But the content within those episodes is strong. That cast is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Netflix model of binge watching and getting people to watch all of them all at the same time. You know, I thought it was great. I think it's definitely the right step in the right direction for television in general. You know, at least in my viewing habits, I like to binge watch. I like to watch even a show we're going to talk about later, Game of Thrones. I love the show. Watching it week to week is not as good as watching it all together.
The only thing for me, though, with the whole binge watching, which I do, I'm guilty of, I do it, I miss the week-to-week conversation, though. It's harder for you and I to review it when it's all at once, because, like, what do we talk about? It's like,
you got to talk about the whole thing.
Right, whereas Game of Thrones, you kind of have that week talking about it and conversing, tweeting, and then it hits the next week. So I mean, there's goods and there's bads with that.
Yeah.
Because I do binge watch.
Yeah, so I thought it was great performances, great political thriller. What's great about it too is like it doesn't really have a political side to it.
No.
It's talking about the kind of the corrupt nature of politics in general and how seedy it is and how backdealing
in the press
and all
with
this
Kate
stuff.
Mara.
Yeah, it doesn't really say, ooh, Democrats are better or Republicans are better. It's basically saying this is how things get done in Washington, and it's not very, not very clean, not very
corrupt.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite, even though Kevin Spacey, of course, is obvious, but I think Robin Wright,
she's
fantastic.
awesome
in this. Yeah.
And Kate Mara's good as
Kate
well.
Mara's good. Yeah, she's stepping up. I mean, she's becoming just as popular as Rooney, if not more so now.
Yeah. All right. And so, speaking of the Netflix model, this is in your top 5.
This was my top 5. Orange is the New Black. I love this. I didn't know what to expect. I just heard this show kind of grew through just people just talking about it.
Oh yeah, it was strictly online buzz. It's weird because
it's actually got more views than House of Cards.
Yes, there's more hours watched of Orange is the New Black than there is House of Cards.
Right.
And this had like hardly any advertising.
No.
House of Cards was everywhere. You see billboards,
Spacey,
commercials, blah blah blah, because it had the names.
Yeah.
This didn't really have like big names in it. I think Jason Biggs is probably Jason Biggs and what's her name, Lori Prepon.
Yeah, Prepon from 70s Show. And then what's her name? I didn't even recognize from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah, Captain Janeway herself. Yeah. I mean, this show, what I love about it so much is that it features pretty much majority all female.
Yes.
And they just own it. I mean, they own their roles. The comedy's great. It's got that comedy and drama, and it's long. It's like, it reminds me a lot of Shameless, where it's like 50, 52 minutes, 54 minutes per episode. And you think that might, and I hate this because when it's going to get categorized at the Emmys, I'm assuming it'll probably be more along the lines of, like, how do you, it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
It's like Girls.
Well, it's both, though. It's comedy and a drama.
It's both, yeah.
So this actually is in my top 10 and almost was in my top 5. You know, I was debating House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, decided to go with House of Cards.
This one left me wanting more, I think, at the end.
They both want, but this was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
All word of mouth. I think it's fantastic that you have female, like mostly female cast, you know, and so I'm really looking forward to it as well. And it's in that Netflix model of, they gave you all the episodes and you watch as many as you
watch them
want.
now.
Yeah,
I think I finished it in a weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, and to the next one. This is on my top 5 list. Boardwalk Empire. There's a show you and me review.
Yes.
This is a show that actually is better if you binge watch it.
All right.
But if you do that, you actually have to wait till the whole season is done.
Right.
I don't think this season was quite as strong as last season's.
Right.
Especially because of the ending. The ending of this season's kind of left you a little unsatisfied. They didn't really finish. There were, some major things that happened, major deaths.
Yeah.
But they left a lot of things unanswered, where last season, the season finale was like, okay, that storyline's done.
Yeah, right. Great finale.
So, but it's still one of the best shows on television. Great acting, great writing. Terrence Winter, who also wrote the script for
Academy Award,
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I just love this show.
I've always enjoyed the show. It's never been like, I've never loved it, even though I've really enjoyed it and I watch it every season. Can't wait for the next season. I've never loved it. It's a gorgeous show. I think it costs more per episode than Game of Thrones. It's like $7.5 million per episode, something ridiculous. The sets. I mean, it looks like a movie. Yeah. Like it looks like a movie. It's so well done. Such good characters. I mean, great actors. You know, of course, Michael
Shannon?
No,
Kenneth Williams.
Michael Kenneth Williams did a great job. Jeffrey Wright is a guest star this season. Every year, always great guest stars. Even Ron Livingston from Office Space and from Band of Brothers was in it. I mean, just great casting.
Where is it in your top 10 or top 20?
Top 10. I'll put it in my top 10, yeah. Okay. Just not my top 5. Definitely top 10, though.
Okay. All right, and the next show. This is a show that we both have on our list. Yeah. Breaking Bad.
We got a little flack on this show for not getting fired up enough about this.
Yeah, it's a final season. Right. It's over. It's done with. Yeah, we get a lot of flack because I really like the show. You know, it's great. You know, great.
This is not my favorite show of all time, though.
Yeah,
I think that's what people were upset that we weren't.
Yes, people gave us a lot of crap because it wasn't our favorite show of all time.
Yeah, it's not my favorite show of all time.
No, but I think it's fantastic.
It's very good. Yeah.
Great performances. Yeah. It ended very good. Yeah. You know, in a very satisfying way. Mm-hmm. The Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, both delivered. You know, even the supporting characters.
Yeah. Gus Fring might be one of my favorite villains of any TV show. He was great. He's an awesome villain.
Yeah. So it ended on a great note. So I think it went out well.
Yeah, it was a good ending.
Top 5 of the year.
Top 5 of the year, just not my favorite show of all time, but top 5 of the year for sure.
And so to our final pick of our top 5s that we both have on our list, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, 3rd season, exciting, some huge events.
Like the Red Wedding?
Like the Red Wedding, yeah, Twitter-breaking events, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite shows. It moves a little faster than something like a Boardwalk Empire, though it still benefits from a binge watching type of viewing.
Because you're basically watching like a 10-hour movie, so I mean it's just, I mean you have to get the whole story in. It's not always going to be like an episode's going to end neatly, you know. I mean it's something that's best, but you have to watch it week to week because you can't wait.
Yeah,
you have to watch. Yeah.
There's so many characters and plots that are going on and nuanced stuff, and you just want to like sometimes. One of the worst things about watching the episode is like, oh, we didn't get to see so-and-so this week, you know, But when you binge watch it, you get to see it all, but we just can't wait. Yeah, I think it's one of the best shows on television. I think, you know, sometimes some people overlook it because they're like, oh, it's too slow, or, you know, some people have a problem with the sex on the show.
Well... I mean, they cut down the sex position. I think that's a little ridiculous. I think that started with Deadwood, you know, and, you know, with what's his name, like, you know, just, I think they slowed it down. Sex position can get a little ridiculous, like when they said people having sex and it's like speaking over them. Well, back when my father was born, and it's just like, really? But, I mean, they toned it down. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's HBO. It's premium network. Come on.
Yeah.
You got to get something for your $15 a month.
But, yeah, this is one of my we review this show.
Right.
And we always get a lot of comments and a lot of fans for the show. I mean, it's grown to be, I think, the 2nd biggest show on HBO of all time.
Yeah, next to Sopranos. Yeah.
Yeah, it surpassed True Blood's best numbers now.
Which is good. Yes, yeah.
And I think True Blood's kind of going on the way out.
So it's the most illegally downloaded show on television right now, according to HBO. They actually were proud of that. They're like, look, you know.
And people talk about this show all the time. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a great show.
So I can't wait till it comes back on. Hopefully we get to see a teaser trailer pretty soon.
Yes, please, please, please.
All right, and so that's what we thought. This is our top 5 TV shows of the year. Yes. Let us know what you think. What are your top 5, top 10? Are they similar to ours, or are there other ones? You can post your comments below on the website thinkhero.com or on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Think Hero Pro. Make sure you subscribe to that.
You can also come chat with us on Twitter. Tell us what your top 5 shows were this year, top 10, top 20, whatever the list is. Find us on @ThinkHero. I'm @GriffinDE.
And we also have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/ThinkHeroFans. Make sure you like that page and help us out by tweeting and Facebooking our videos. It'd help out a lot.